Today I am going to discuss the topic screening methods for antiarrhythmic agents. Myself Dr. Deepti Bandavne, working as Professor, Department of Pharmacology at Progressive Education Society's Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigdi, Pune. Contents of today's session are introduction, that is, what do you mean by arrhythmia, classification of antiarrhythmic drugs, just the list, and various screening methods for antiarrhythmic agents. Arrhythmia, as the name indicates, is the condition in which origin, rhythm, or rate of heartbeats is abnormal. Arrhythmia may be due to either abnormal impulse formation or abnormal impulse conduction or drug-induced arrhythmia. In abnormal impulse formation, it is due to increased automaticity or because of after depolarization. Abnormal impulse conduction include process of re-entry in ventricular tissues and in AV node. Re-entry is the process of re-excitation of a particular zone of tissues by the same impulse. Drugs that are causing arrhythmia include sympathomimetic drugs which increase automaticity and digitalis glycosides which cause after depolarizations. We will have a look at different classes of drugs used for treatment of arrhythmia. The classes of the drugs should be known because in further discussion, when we are going to study different screening procedures, we will find that some screening procedures are specific for some classes of antiarrhythmic drugs. So the antiarrhythmic drugs first class is class 1 drugs, also called as sodium channel blockers, as these drugs act by blocking sodium channels and thereby affecting the process of depolarization in action potential. The class is further subcategorized as class 1A drug, 1B, 1C and other class 1 drugs. Examples are as shown here. Class 2 antiarrhythmic drugs include mainly beta blockers like esmolol, metoprolol and propranolol. Class 3 drugs are the miscellaneous one, but still it includes amiodarone, bretylium and ibutilide. Class 4 drugs are here I have enlisted various screening methods for antiarrhythmic drugs. They are first one, electrocardiography in animals. Second, aconitine antagonism in rats. Third method, digoxin-induced ventricular arrhythmias. Fourth one, strophanthine-induced arrhythmias. Fifth one, ventricular fibrillation electrical threshold. Sixth one is the coronary artery ligation, reperfusion arrhythmia and infarct size in rats. And the last but not the least method, ventricular arrhythmia after coronary occlusion and reperfusion. Rationale behind the method electrocardiography in animals is recording of electrocardiogram is an essential tool in the evaluation of antiarrhythmic drugs. Based on this principle, the method is carried out. The male SD rats weighing 250 to 300 gram are selected and they are anesthetized by a suitable anesthetic, probably ketamine. Right jugular vein is cannulated for injection while left carotid artery is cannulated for recording of blood pressure. ECG recording is done using lead type 2 of configuration along the anatomical axis of heart. The ECGs are recorded at standard chart speed of 100 mm per second on polygraph and simultaneously on a storage oscilloscope. While recording ECG, the measurements of intervals like PR interval, QT interval, they are made on chart recorder and from memory trace of monitor. T-wave calculation is made on the basis of repolarization wave that follows QRS complex. This is because it is difficult in rats to measure the T-wave directly. Following variables are measured: delta T, that is the time for depolarization wave to cross atria, PR interval, QT interval, RSH, that is height between peak R and S wave, RSH magnitude, that is a measure of extent of S wave depression that is mainly exerted by class 1 sodium channel blocking antiarrhythmics. Evaluation of this screening method is done by recording standard cumulative dose responses curves to show the relation between statistical mean value and drug effects. Statistical analysis is based on ANOVA followed by Duncan's test. Another method for screening of antiarrhythmic drugs is aconitine antagonism in rats. Aconitine is a plant alkaloid that persistently activates sodium channels. Considering this property of the drug, the antiarrhythmics can be tested in aconitine-infed rats. In procedure, male rats are used and they are anesthetized by intraperitoneal injection of 1.25 gram per kg urethane. Aconitine solution is prepared by dissolving 5 microgram per kg of aconitine in 0.1 normal nitric acid, and it is administered by continuous infusion into saphenous vein at the rate of 0.1 ml per minute. 8 to 10 animals are used per compound. Antiarrhythmic effect of test compound is measured by the amount of aconitine per 100 gram of animal to produce ventricular extrasystoles, ventricular tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation, and finally death of the animal. Higher doses of aconitine in treated group as compared to untreated group indicates antiarrhythmic activity. Statistically, the comparison of test and standard groups is done by using student t-test. Another important method for screening of antiarrhythmic agents is digoxin-induced ventricular arrhythmias in anesthetized guinea pigs. This method is based on the principle that overdose of cardiac glycosides such as digoxin induces ventricular extrasystole, ventricular fibrillation, and final death of the animal. The occurrence of these symptoms can be delayed by antiarrhythmic drugs. So drugs which will show the delaying of these symptoms can be considered as antiarrhythmic drug. Male guinea pigs are selected for this process. They are anesthetized, trachea, one jugular vein, one carotid artery are catheterized. Positive pressure ventilation is applied to trachea with the help of respiratory pump at 45 breaths per minute. Carotid artery is used for monitoring systolic blood pressure via pressure transducer. Jugular vein is used for infusion of digoxin with perfusion pump at the rate of 85 microgram per kg in 0.26 ml per minute until cardiac arrest is observed. The electrocardiogram is recorded. Treated groups receive test drug either orally or by intravenous route. If the test drug is given by orally, it should be given 1 hour prior to infusion of digoxin. If it is given by IV route, then it should be given 1 minute prior to infusion of digoxin. Control groups receive digoxin only. The period of onset of ventricular extrasystoles, ventricular fibrillation, and cardiac arrest are recorded. Besides the onset of arrhythmia, total amount of infused digoxin in microgram per kg required to induce ventricular fibrillation is calculated. Evaluation is done on the basis of doses of digoxin required to induce ventricular extrasystoles, ventricular fibrillation, and cardiac arrest before and after treatment with antiarrhythmic drugs are compared using student t-test. Like digitalis glycoside, stofanthin, a cardiac glycoside, is also used to induce arrhythmias in experimental animals. That method is termed as stofanthin-induced arrhythmias. It is based on the principle that acute intoxication with cardiac glycoside stofanthin potassium induces ventricular tachycardia and multifocal ventricular arrhythmias in dogs. This can be used as a test model to evaluate effect of potential antiarrhythmic drugs on ventricular arrhythmias. Male or female dogs are selected, they are anesthetized. Stofanthin potassium is administered by continuous IV infusion at the rate of 3 microgram per kg per minute. After 30 to 40 minutes, signs of cardiac glycoside intoxication appear. Once the signs of ventricular tachycardia or multifocal ventricular arrhythmias are observed, stofanthin infusion is terminated. When arrhythmias are stable for 10 minutes, test compound is administered either by IV route in the dose of 1 to 5 mg per kg or by intraduodenal route in the dose as shown here. The ECG recordings are obtained at time interval of 0.5, 1, 2, 5 and 10 minutes after administration of test compound. Criteria for activity of the compound is depending on IV route and intraduodenal route. For IV administration, test compound is considered active if extrasystoles immediately disappear. However, if no positive effects are produced by test drug, then increased doses are administered 15 minutes interval. On the contrary, if the test drug shows positive effects, then the next dose should be given after reappearance of stable arrhythmias. For intraduodenal administration, the same criteria as that of IV route of administration are considered. That is, the test compound is antiarrhythmic if extrasystole disappear within 15 minutes. Test compound is however considered to have no effect if it does not improve arrhythmias within 60 minutes after administration of the test drug. As far as the evaluation of therapeutic effect of this drug stopanthin is considered, it is difficult to evaluate and there is no clear-cut correlation between effectiveness of test compound and duration of its effect, that is return to normal ECG. Standard drugs like quinidine, lidocaine, they re-establish normal sinus rhythm at the doses 1 and 3 mg per kg when given by IV route, and arrhythmias are eliminated for 20 minutes by IV route and 60 minutes if given by intraduodenal routes following their administration. In ventricular fibrillation electrical method, as the name indicates, several electrical stimulation techniques are used to induce ventricular fibrillation, and hence antiarrhythmic drugs that prevent the development of ventricular fibrillation can be tested by this method. Dogs are used in this method. Adult dogs are selected. They are anesthetized. They are ventilated with respiratory pump. Body temperature is maintained. Systolic arterial pressure is monitored. Chest is opened by midline sternotomy and heart is suspended in pericardial cradle. The electrical stimulation is given to heart and is programmed by digital stimulator. The recording electrode is placed on surface of each ventricle. Silver plate is implanted under skin in right femoral region as indifferent electrode. Antiarrhythmic drugs are administered through femoral vein. Evaluation of this method is done by determining the ventricular fibrillation threshold before and after administration of test drugs at given time intervals. Mean values of 10 experiments are compared using student's t-test. Another important method include coronary artery ligation, reperfusion arrhythmia, and infarct size in rats. It is based on the principle that coronary artery ligation causes occlusion of left main coronary artery, resulting in arrhythmia and myocardial infarction. Therefore, antiarrhythmic drugs can be tested in occlusion and reperfusion period. This method is applicable to rats. SD rats weighing 300 to 350 gram are selected. They are anesthetized. Trachea is incubated for artificial ventilation and the jugular vein is catheterized for test drug during administration. Carotid artery is used for measurement of peripheral blood pressure. Chest is opened, pericardium is opened and heart is exposed. A thin silk thread is placed around the left coronary artery for ligation. Heart is again placed back in chest cavity. After equilibration time of 45 minutes, test substance or vehicle is given by intravenous route. 5 minutes later, the ligature of left coronary artery is closed either for 15 or 90 minutes for measurement of infarct size and subsequently it is reperfused for 80 minutes. Peripheral blood pressure and ECG is recorded during the whole experiment. Number of ventricular premature beats, ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation are counted in occlusion and reperfusion period. Now regarding the experimental design for determination of infarct size, at the end of reperfusion period, as discussed in last slide, the animal is sacrificed with overdose of anesthetic. Heart is dissected and cut into transverse section from apex to base. The slices are stained with p-nitroblue tetrazolium chloride solution so that it can be visualized for the infarct tissue. In that, the blue or violet stained tissue indicates the healthy tissue, whereas unstained tissue indicate necrosis occurred. Slices are photographed for determination of infarct size. We are considering infarct size as necrotic tissue. Hemodynamic parameters for evaluation of this screening procedure include peripheral blood pressure, heart rate, and pressure rate index, which is calculated by multiplying blood pressure with heart rate. Ventricular extrasystoles, ventricular tachycardia, and ventricular fibrillation is recorded. Infarct size, mortality is recorded. All above parameters are compared in drug-treated and vehicle control animals, and the results are statistically evaluated by student t-test. Last method of today's session is ventricular fibrillation after coronary occlusion and reperfusion in anesthetized dogs. It is based on the principle that Due to occlusion of coronary artery in anesthetized dogs, there is increase in heart rate, contractility, left ventricular end diastolic pressure and blood pressure, producing ventricular arrhythmia. During subsequent reperfusion period, in this experiment, high percent of control animals die due to ventricular fibrillation. Antiarrhythmic drugs can be tested as they reduce both hemodynamic and electric changes. Dogs are selected and they are anesthetized. They are placed in right lateral position. Respiration is maintained through tracheal tube by respiration pump. Saphenous vein is cannulated for test drug administration. For recording peripheral systolic and diastolic blood pressure, femoral artery is cannulated and connected to pressure transducer. For determination of left ventricular pressure, left carotid artery is cannulated and is connected to pressure transducer. Left ventricular end diastolic pressure is measured. Heart rate is measured. Myocardial contractility is measured as a rate of increase of left ventricular pressure. Sum of ST segment elevations is calculated. Pressure rate index is measured and it is the indication of oxygen consumption. Chest and pericardium of the animal is open and heart is exposed. Left anterior descending coronary artery is exposed. Silk suture is placed around it. It is placed around just first diagonal branch. After an equilibration period of 45 minutes, test substance or vehicle is administered to control group by IV bolus. 20 minutes later, the ligature at coronary artery is closed for 90 minutes. After release of coronary obstruction, animal is monitored for a reperfusion period of 30 minutes. All the above parameters are recorded during the whole experiment. At the end of the experimental period, surviving animals are sacrificed by overdose of anesthetic. Hemodynamic parameters in evaluation criteria include peripheral blood pressure, heart rate and pressure rate index. Arrhythmias including ventricular extrasystoles, ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation are recorded. Mortality is recorded. All the above parameters are compared in drug-treated and vehicle control animals and they are statistically assessed by student t-test. To conclude the session, we have discussed the concept of arrhythmia, different drugs used for treatment of arrhythmia, and then in detail various screening procedures used for anti-arrhythmic drugs. Thank you.